Welcome to the SS White Dental Core Insights podcast. Here's your host, CEO Tom Gallup.
So we're talking about practice growth. You're talking about talking to the patients about, treating them the way they want to be treated, treating them the way you want to be treated, talking to them about COVID, talking to, approaching the difficult conversations even with the patients. What other things do you think doctors make a mistake when they think about practice growth?
Not taking pictures. They're not taking pictures to show the patient
before and after.
Before and after. Some of them don't even hand the patient a hand mirror. You did a beautiful class 1, a class 2, a crown. I built this girl up yesterday who traumatically fractured 7 and 9. And I gave her the mirror, and the best thing she said to me says, "Oh my God, that looks normal." And here's a girl that's got a through and through laceration.
Does she get to take the pictures home?
I send it to him. Yeah, I used to
email
do that.
it to him.
I'll email it to him.
I wonder how many times they forward those emails on to friends.
It's a lot more than you'd think. A lot more than you think. And, we always used to give them the before pictures, and I used to work with Polaroids a lot. And I would print them even now. I'll do the before the laminates picture. And I never gave them the after one. And the reason was they were the after one. They were live. They just had a smile. And how many would hold that picture and say, "This is what I look like before"?
And now you give them both, and they can forward it to their friends. Check this out. Look where I was. Look at where I am now. This doctor's awesome. You should check it out.
Go back. We digressed a little bit from the website. I think you need to have a social media presence.
Yeah.
Okay. You need to be on Facebook. You need to have your patients writing. I'm not. I mean, yes, I do have a Facebook page. I think I know how to get to it. I'm not sure. I have other people that will help do that. I have reviews, constantly asking for reviews for my patients. One of the best things you can do now, and I just had this conversation with my wife and my other front desk person, is I'd like you to go ask the patients not only for a review, but to give me a review and comment on how safe they felt in my office. Because
so you're actually, I would like you to make a comment on the COVID issue.
Did you feel safe in my office, and are you aware of all that we're doing? And in case they forget, we do have a picture up front of everything we're doing in the office. I don't leave a lot to chance.
So, are there any specific procedures or clinical outcomes? I love giving them the 2 pictures. I've also heard doctors that like to make a phone call after a certain kind of procedure, like just to check in with the patient. A lot of times they get voicemail. Do you ever make the post-treatment callback?
We call them well calls. And well calls, and it's based on the verbiage. I've removed the tooth earlier in the day. I'll call the patient at night and I'll say, "Hey Tom, I'm just calling to see how well you're doing." I never ask how are you doing, because I'd like to plant the seed of positive well-being by putting the positive thought in the patient's mind.
I've done a little bit of homework on this topic. I think it's less than 10% of the doctors do this post-procedure callback. And it is such a valuable way to connect with the patient and learn if there is an issue that you need to resolve. And you certainly want them telling you about it, not their friends and neighbors if there is an issue. But most of the time there's not an issue, but they really appreciate that call.
They do. And I give them I used to have a pager. And I said, "What the heck for?" Because when I call them back, my number pops up. So it doesn't matter. I might as well and I'm listed in the book in Paramus where I live, so they could find me. So I just give them my cell phone. I don't get involved.
How many patients call you back?
Probably 1 to 2 a year.
Yeah, I know. So
very few.
I think doctors are afraid I'm going to get called all the time. They're going to bitch at me or whatever.
And if they call, it's a real problem. And it's fine. It's more than 1 to 2.
It's 1 or 2 a year, and make the. But how many people? A friend of mine was he was a triathlete, and he is a triathlete, and he had knee surgery. So he's going to go up to the Stedman Clinic in Colorado, which is a very famous orthopedic surgeon's office. And they did Kobe Bryant. They've done a lot of Hall of Famers and basketball players, he had the knee surgery. He lost his cell phone. And he wasn't that in a rush to find his cell phone, but he found it a couple days later, and he had over 10 messages from the Stedman Clinic on his cell phone. And they weren't just from the Stedman Clinic. They were from Dr. Stedman that did his knee.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, I really want to hear, how's the symptoms? How you feeling? How are you doing? Do you have the right meds? How's the swelling? I mean, you know, basic questions, but good questions. 10 times.
You know, the comment Tom, that we get the comment, I can't believe you're calling me.
Yeah, I know. My friend calls him back and says, you know, why are you calling me? But I mean, I really appreciate you calling me, but why are you calling me? And because my friend owns a business and he was really interested in the customer service element of it. And Stedman said, well, I've learned a lot about patients from this. And my buddy was like, well, why else are you calling me? And he says, and my friend finally asked him point blank, how many referrals are you getting from making this kind of phone call? And he says, it's the #1 way we grow our practice.
Amen.
This is the largest orthopedic surgery center in Colorado, one of the biggest in the country. But he does genuinely learn better ways to treat the patient. But he goes the extra mile, you know, going that extra mile. So those magic moments that you can create for a patient and then memorialize it, it causes them to look at you differently, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And I've been tapped on my shoulder while you're talking several times from my late father, who may rest in peace, because he wants me to give you one of the key things I learned. I told you he was a great mentor, right? He told me to spell success SUCCESS, 3 C's. The 3 C's stand for the level of comfort, care, and concern that we each give our patient. And that is the #1 referral basis that I have, is the level of comfort, care, and concern, which goes to the phone call, which goes to doing my homework on how to treat them the best way possible.
It starts with that belief system. And then your actions are a result of you having that belief system.
It lives with me every day.
Yep.
In the way you treat people.
And we were all lucky to have some of the backgrounds and mentors we've had. You mentioned your father as a key mentor in your life. Who would you say right now is another dentist or another specialist that you really like what they're doing, that you think people should go check out?
Well, you know, it's an interesting one. I think there are some great people that I look to for different things and different reasons. I give a shout out to a resident of mine 32 years ago, Dr. Frank Pappas, who is my dentist now, because my dad's passed on, my partner is retired, and so I've been seeing Frank for a good number of years. And I've learned from him because he has a younger approach to things and looks at things a little differently than I do. And I've learned never to poo-poo anything. I do look to my oral surgeon. I do look to my endodontist as mentors because I learn from them. Just like you said, go see what they're doing. Learn from them. There was a great practice management dentist guy years ago, Phil Whitener, who I learned a lot from. The late Les Zucker, who was great. You know, so many greats I've been fortunate to know, like Erwin Smigel, the father of bonding. You know, I went to his office, watched him, learned from him, taught with him, had the actual luxury to teach with him in road courses, hands-on courses. So I've been very blessed to know a lot of great people in my time. Hell, I even count you as one of them.
Oh,
you know, I've learned from you.
You're lying. No,
I mean that sincerely. I do. I mean, you and I have had very good, deep conversations.
I love that we're both open and curious, and we both want to be lifelong learners, and we want to help. And
Amen.
I love playing with people that are in that boat. So let's look at the other side. What are some of the biggest scams you think are going on in dentistry right now, or biggest things we should avoid? Do you remember any, what are some pitfalls that we should think about staying clear of? I know, you know, having the wrong belief system around how to think about the patient, or not being collaborative with your specialists, I think are two big things we hammered home well today. But what other concerns do you have about the industry? Maybe you mentioned some of the drill and fill mentality and just trying to overtreat, or what scams should we be aware of or think about?
avoid money as being the number one thing you think about. Think about quality of life and quality. Well, think about quality of care, which will give you the quality of life that you want. That I can finish my day in the office and go home and sleep at night. That I know it did the best I possibly could for my patients. I'm going to get into trouble by saying this, but I think managed care is a big pitfall in dentistry. Don't get sucked into it. You know, I understand the economics of it. I understand you need to have those kinds of facilities. I don't fear them because the quality, wrong word, the level or a patient that I get in my office is different than the patient that's going to seek care in those facilities. Be generous in your ability to share with others. And that means giving time to your local hospital like I do, or teaching in a GPR, working with a humanitarian cause. I work with Donated Dental Services, or what's now called Dental Lifeline. Giving back to the community. I think that's essential. I mean, that's so essential that you give back to the community.
I think it also speaks back to your stress reduction and giving you perspective too. I mean,
oh, it does. Yeah. There, but for the grace of God, go I, you know.
Yep.
I've been as I keep saying, I'm blessed in what I do.
So I grilled you. I've asked you a bunch of questions. I really appreciate your honesty and your vulnerability on this. What question haven't I asked you that I think I should have? Or
well, you said if I weren't a dentist, what would I be?
Oh yeah,
CEO of SS White.
Please send me out in. You can have the job.
No, you know, I have a degree in my major in college is political science. Okay, I had dreams of going into the diplomatic corps. Okay, and I looked at that, and I got to tell you, you know, ethnically, there aren't a lot of Jewish folks in the diplomatic corps, and you can only have one ambassador to Israel. So I have a minor in international relations, a minor in English, and a minor in chemistry. And I graduated with a BS and a few credits short of a dual BA, with a BA, with a dual BS almost. My father said, take the courses, go to dental school. If you like it, fine. If you don't, and you graduate with a degree in dentistry, they can never take the degree away from you. I happened to fall in love with dentistry when I went to dental school. You know, and I've been very lucky, and I had my father as a mentor, and he never forced me into it. My children didn't go into it. I didn't force them to go into it. They've been very successful in their own right.
But I question whether or not you fell in love with dentistry, or whether or not you were the kind of guy that was going to show up in a way that would cause you to be in love with dentistry. And not to be too nitpicky on that, but I think you would have loved any profession eventually. You know what I mean? Because I think you're showing up with empathy. I think you're showing up with drive and a desire to continuously learn and make it better if you were frustrated. So I think I don't think we've fallen. I mean, this whole idea of find the job you love and you'll never work a day in your life, Mark Twain, love it. But I think sometimes we got to choose to love it and be the kind of person that figures out how to love anything. And
you're right.
You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. You know, listen, I used to work on a radio station. I used to cover the election night. I used to produce election night TV shows for top of the ticket races. Was part of that production team. So I've got a varied background. I think I would have done well, frankly, Tom, and thank you for that compliment, in anything I would have pursued.
Because
I would have thrown myself into
system that helps you.
Yeah.
The continuous learning, caring about others, thinking about others, having empathy to understand where other people are coming from, a desire for greatness, not a pursuit of money. Those things, those bedrocks will help you anywhere.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's really it. And I think the ability to share. I think you have to have the ability
you're also
to give.
A great educator. Yeah, I mean,
and you have to have the ability to, thank you for that, but you have to have the ability to share and do it in a way you're comfortable. My biggest frustration and I like the idea of a podcast, because like you and I have discussed, there's nothing a lot really visual. You know, after looking at the two of us for 3 minutes, you can change channels.
I hope they went to the audio, right?
Yeah, right. They went immediately go to audio. But having to teach webinars, to me, is the wrong form of education. I like being able to do hands-on. I like to be able to show things to patients. I like to audiences. I like to be able to interact with my audiences, and being, one-on-one like this is great. 500 people, I can't take the questions like I can in a room, and you've seen me work the room.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching you present before. I remember I saw you in Denver last time you were in Denver for the Denver show. So any questions you have for me, or how can people learn more about how they could book Howard, or how they could read more about what Howard's writing?
And thank you for that opportunity. What I expect from you is more great products. You have been on the cutting edge, and SS White has, from before you were born. SS White has been on, before all of us have been born collectively. They were on the cutting edge with the first dental supply companies, the first catalogs. Yeah. I mean, they have always been there, and I had the privilege of interviewing you about that, and learning more about that, and that was eye-opening for me. If you'd like to talk more to me, I'm a reachable guy. My email is hglazer264@gmail, HGLAZER.
Yeah, we'll put that in the links.
Yeah, at email. Come join us in Smiles in the Sun. It's smilesinthesun.net. You'll see what we're doing. I've got two great speakers in addition to me on the program, and my co-director, Roy Stunkin, on the program. We've got Deborah Engelhart Nash, who's excellent. Yep. And we've got the king of fixed prosthetics and implant prosthetics, Joe Masad, coming to speak with us. And we'll have some hands-on, we'll have some workshops. And the nice part is your feet will be in the sand by 2 o'clock every day. We guarantee that.
You're learning some real tangible stuff to take away. Plus, you're building the network and relationship of like-minded people that you can reach out to throughout the year, or as part of your monthly meeting, get together on Zoom or however you all get together.
Yeah, it is. And, it's become clubby, and it's good. I wish I could we talked about opening it up, but everybody says right now we know everybody, and we want to break bread with you first, I guess, is the best way to say it, before we talk frank.
One or two people can change the dynamics of an organization pretty quickly if they're the wrong folks.
It's true. It's true. And we've had a very good response to this, and we get 15 to 20 people easily. I think we had 24 on last night that join us. And
how many people show up at the show? Or at the...
we'll have probably about 70 participants.
All dentists?
No, dentists and staff and spouse and a lot spouse too. Yeah, and family. We've watched several kids. Well, we didn't watch them get conceived, but they were born, and we got to see them at infants on up. We're doing it 11 years already. Wow. So it's been really a great run, and and again, my thanks. SS White was in there from the beginning when we started this.
Yeah, I mean, we want to be around great dentists, and we want to be in conversations on how we can help them get better, or what we can do better. And, we know the challenges, with whether it's with COVID, or whether it's with treatment planning or diagnosing and, creating better diagnostic tools, or whether it's, creating instruments that last longer, cut faster, or allow us to conserve more healthy tissue and create better patient outcomes. Those are things that we love playing with. So if you got ideas or suggestions, we'd love to be in a dialogue on that in general, any of our audience. Anything else for me, or any questions for me, or what else?
No, you said one thing I want you to repeat to everybody. It's any doctor with any idea on how to do things better, you want to have a conversation.
We'd love to talk. Yeah, and we don't have all the answers. But we definitely have the ability to reach out to a wide group of doctors and test things, whether at universities or with key opinion leaders or with randomly selected doctors. We can get things validated, and we can get things manufactured. We're a manufacturer, and we love working with young new doctors that really have a passion for creating better patient outcomes, whether it's through minimally invasive, better diagnostics, or saving time, or other ways to build the practice that can be replicated. And again, obviously, we've seen that the doctors that care about changing dentistry for the better are the ones that we've enjoyed partnering best with, like yourself. So it's been great knowing you these times, and I look forward to our hopefully getting back to trade shows together or other venues or other seminars together.
Amen. And I thank you. I want you to make sure that you do three things: that you keep healthy, you keep happy, and you keep smiling.
Yeah, and we care.
Amen.
We also are 3 C's. We care,
Comfort,
and we
concern.
Yes. Great words. Thank you so much, Dr. Howard Glazer. I really appreciate you being with us today. We will let us know how we can do this better, and if you have any other things that come up out of this that you want to mention to everybody, we can stick in the show notes. But thank you
Fair
so
enough.
much.
My pleasure. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.